Hey, good afternoon, everyone. This is the author, Andrew Snorton, and you're joining me for the Fast 15. As we typically do on Wednesdays about 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we take about 15 minutes to pause, check up, check in, enjoy an encouraging note from any of the books, audio books, and things along those lines. A couple of quick announcements, and then closing out on a positive note. As when life is lifing, sometimes you can't wait till the end of the day or the beginning of the next day to pause and reboot. So hopefully this little breather not only helps you, it helps me just kind of slow down the moving parts and get perspective on life and its many wonders. So to stay connected with me, make sure to add me on Instagram at AuthorASnorton. Click on the link in the bio, which is my Linktree, linktr.ee/AuthorASnorton. From there, you can go ahead and access the newsletter, which comes out once every 2 weeks, all the social media handles on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. Make sure to subscribe to the YouTube. As a reminder, the coffee information with the author Andrew Snorton blend, coffee collaboration with Fonte's Coffee, archival editions of the Conversation Corner with Status Network, editions of Lens to Pens in collaboration with Emery Rose Photography, and more. So make sure to go ahead and like, add, share, check all that out as we kind of get to it and get through it. So hopefully everyone's doing all right. As you guys know, before I dive in with our topic from one of the books, it's about taking a moment to pause and acknowledge people. We know, some people are really going through some challenges. There may be some of you out there dealing with stuff, physical health, mental health, financial, just relationships with people across the board, family, and things along those lines, community, and just general stressors and what have you. So if that sounds like you or someone we see you, we acknowledge you, but we also want to encourage you to take the time you need to kind of pause, reboot, and pivot and see what the most positive next steps are going to be. So if that calls for you getting professional help, and if you have access to it, there's no shame in getting that. If it calls for you to get more informal help, have a support group, things along those lines, identify those people that will help direct you in a positive manner. If you have to kind of change the way you move and things along those lines, then please identify positive ways to go ahead and get through it. And we're rooting for you and we're encouraging you. On the flip side, we know there's people who are doing extremely well. For those of you that are enjoying success, whether you have some extra money in your pocket, and of course people are going to hit you up to have them, loan you $1 or two. But some people, a new job, a new place to live, a new vehicle, a new outfit. Just you went to a new space and place and you're like, hey, this is a cool place to go eat or go shop or whatever. For you and other folks that are having some positives, taking place, definitely celebrate those, because you know what you had to work through and what you were led through in order to get there. Feed off the positive energy and let that be a springboard for what's next. Keep it in perspective, so don't let it go to your head and don't go overboard, as we need you around. So those are things I always try to do before I get into whatever I'm going to pull from any of my books or things along those lines, because that's just life. You want to acknowledge people that are going through life. So today's selection is going to come from Nothing Minor. This focuses on my very first year of covering minor league baseball back in 2019, when I covered different teams pretty much throughout the Southeast. The Carolinas, Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee, and Mississippi. And it's cool because a number of the players that I've interviewed or covered have made it to Major League rosters, are actually playing on Major League teams, some of whom are actually starting. There's also a good section on the Negro Southern League Museum in Birmingham, Alabama. So if you haven't checked it out, it's interconnected with Regents Field in Birmingham. Make sure to check it out. And actually, that's one of the teams that we covered. Great place to catch a game, but definitely check out the Negro Southern League Museum. And then there's a good interview with one of the umpire supervisors who gives the game perspective from that point of view. So what I want to do is I want to read this part of an interview, and it comes to just battling. And I know, some people are like, oh, da, 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 but look, life is lifing, and there's times we have to pause and there's times we have to battle. So this is an interview that I've made with Tristan Casas, who is now the starting first baseman for the Boston Red Sox. He's working through rib injury, so definitely wishing him, a speedy return, a safe return. And even though I grew up a Yankees fan, Boston's playing extremely well. They would be, if they make the playoffs, that's a team you don't want to play, because they play with a great energy and what have you. But here's a quote that he made after I interviewed him, and they lost the game to the Charleston franchise, who was affiliated with the New York Yankees at the time. So here's what he says, and this is perspective regarding, coming after a loss. He notes, "We stayed in it and battled to the last out. I think we learned a lot about our team and can take that with us to the next game." I'm going to read that one more time. "We stayed in it and battled to the last out. I think we learned a lot about our team and can take that with us to the next game." And there are times where, the battle can be tough. And for some, it's easy for people to bail out. But sometimes you want to make sure you've covered all your ground, all your bases before you make a decision. So it kind of reminds me of that old school adage of look before you leap, or before you rush to judgment, or don't judge a book by its cover. And in this case, it's where, okay, the team lost, but instead of keeping their heads down, it's like, we're going to keep working, we're going to keep grinding, we're going to keep trying until it's actually over. And then when it's over, we can see what we've learned, what we can adjust, to, and how we can be better from this. And it's hard, to battle and things don't go your way, and it's hard sometimes to see the lessons, especially in losing. But I'll say this: when you suffer a loss, you don't want to suffer it again, and you learn what to do differently and what to do better. And this was in Tristan's first year of minor league ball back in 2019, and then last year, first full year in the bigs in 2023. So that's the lesson for today. It's like, persevere, and when it's clear it's time to unplug and move on, then you unplug and move on. But don't necessarily rush your judgment. Get all your info before you make a decision. So that's the takeaway I have. So shouts to Tristan Casas, and this is from the book Nothing Minor, focusing my first year covering minor league ball. Okay, a couple of quick announcements before I kind of take a breather for lunch. Many thanks to the Illinois Center of the Book, as I am officially recognized as an author in that wonderful directory. So the Illinois Center of the Book is a way for libraries, bookstores, book clubs, and more who are based in Illinois to connect with authors who are either born there, which is me, or from there. So I'm very grateful for that opportunity. Looking forward to connecting with some great entities in the state of Illinois. The next newsletter will come out on August 17th. I'll have some great info on there on some book signs that are on the horizon. I just got a confirmation on one today, so we're going to keep it on the hush until Saturday, the 17th, but definitely really excited to, be back at a particular venue, working on some other dates, coming this fall. So once they are confirmed, I will drop those in the newsletter, social media, update the website, and more. But many thanks to everybody who's helping on that process. As any author knows, your opportunities to connect with readers is so important. And when you're able to do it at a bookstore or a book festival or something along those lines, you welcome those constructive engagement opportunities. So many thanks to all who are helping on that end. Of course, many thanks to all taking time to support with every book, audio book, the coffee collab with Fonte's Coffee, the AuthorASnorton blend. So we still have the decaf, the light, the medium, and bourbon infused roast. So make sure to get a cup or a bag of really good coffee today. Trying to think what else is happening. August is an awesome month. We had a contest that was going on, but you need to hustle. So even though the deadline was yesterday, the 13th, I'll give you guys an extra day or two to go ahead. So you gotta go on my Instagram, AuthorASnorton. Click on the link in the bio. The very first item is the newsletter. You got to go into the newsletter and check it out. If you're not reading and checking it out, you're missing out. So you don't want to miss out on too much more. But guess those are the main things. Just looking forward to the summer months. Looking forward to autumn, which is right around the corner. So many cool things are taking place. I'm just thankful and grateful for all of it, and thankful and grateful to each and every one of you and your support. So we're going to go ahead and wind this down. Remember, the lesson from today came from Nothing Minor, so it's more than just baseball. So make sure to check it out. There's some things that are, the game is big, but life is bigger, and I think that's something that I hope everyone can take away from. So again, you can stay connected with me. You can probably see some of the stuff with the signage in the back, but if not, to make it simple, AuthorASnorton on Instagram, click on the link in the bio, and you can navigate through, like, add, share, all that type of thing. So I pray and trust all of you are doing as well as possible, continue to do as well as possible, and like I say, whether small or big, victory is a victory, whether slow or swift, movement is movement. Keep it victorious and keep it moving. I know I changed the order up from time to time, but hey, it is what it is. So you guys, seriously, take very good care. Be safe while you're out and about, and I will see you guys real soon.